The day began like any other, yet a strange unease settled deep in my stomach. A warning I tried desperately to ignore. It was the wedding of Lisa's sister, and the entire family had gathered at a stunning countryside estate, surrounded by lush gardens glowing under gentle sunlight streaming through the trees. The setting was idyllic, and everyone was dressed elegantly. Lisa looked absolutely stunning in a rich burgundy gown, her hair perfectly styled in soft curls. We posed for pictures, mingled among the guests, and I kept telling myself to enjoy the moment, pushing aside the faint whisper of doubt nagging at the back of my mind. The ceremony went off without a hitch. Lisa's sister walked down the aisle, beaming with happiness. The vows were sincere, touching everyone present. Following the ceremony, the reception began in a magnificent hall. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling, jazz music played softly, and tables were decorated with white roses and flickering candles. Laughter filled the air as guests danced and indulged at the open bar. I tried to relax, letting the warmth of the evening settle in. But then, I noticed Lisa slowly drifting away from me. It started subtly, a brief glance at her phone, stepping outside briefly for fresh air, texting hurriedly. Initially, I thought maybe she was just feeling overwhelmed or tired. However, my eyes soon caught something that I couldn't erase from my mind. In a dim corner near the bar, Lisa was speaking with a man I didn't know. I didn't recognize him, but the confident smile he wore and the way he looked at her sent a sharp pang through me. I kept watching, trying to convince myself it was harmless, but their body language told a different tale. Lisa lightly touched his arm. Their faces were closer than simple friendliness would warrant. A cold ache settled in my chest. The man leaned in, and she laughed, a laugh I hadn't heard in a long time. It was light, carefree, but it wasn't the laugh of the woman I believed I was married to. My mind raced back over recent months, the late nights, secretive phone calls, excuses for missed dinners. Could this be the truth behind it all? Had she been deceiving me all along? A storm of disbelief, anger, and heartbreak crashed over me. Part of me wanted to confront her, grab her arm, demand answers. Yet another part, weary and wounded, urged restraint. Then I saw it clearly. The man drew her close, and without warning, their lips met. A brief, unmistakable kiss. The world blurred as reality shattered. Lisa, my wife, was betraying me at her own sister's wedding. I didn't utter a word. I didn't create a scene. Instead, I quietly turned and walked out of the hall, out of the house, and into the cool night air. The garden was still except for distant laughter echoing from inside. I pulled out my phone and called my best friend, needing an anchor. On the drive home, I couldn't stop replaying every detail, the sparkle in her eyes, the touch of his hand on her waist. It was over. Whatever we had was gone. When I arrived home, I didn't wait for Lisa. I packed my belongings, clothes, toiletries, the few personal things I needed, and sent her a simple message. I'm done. It was short but carried the weight of everything that had transpired. No anger, no pleading, just finality. For days, I avoided her calls and ignored her texts. One evening, she appeared at my apartment, pale and tear-streaked, clutching a bouquet. She begged, promising it was a mistake, claiming confusion, insisting she loved only me. I listened quietly, pain twisting inside me. When she finished, I met her gaze and said, "You betrayed me. Not just me. You betrayed our family, her sister, everyone who trusted us." That's something I can never forget or forgive. She broke down, begging for one last chance, but I was resolute. I told her some things, once broken, can't be repaired. Love alone isn't enough when trust is destroyed. I told her she made her choice and must live with the consequences. Weeks turned into months. I focused on healing, leaning on friends, and rediscovering who I was. I took long walks, returned to hobbies I had abandoned, and rebuilt my confidence. I learned walking away wasn't a sign of weakness but strength, and painful as it was necessary. Months later, Lisa reached out again, desperate and changed. She admitted her mistakes and said she was willing to fight for us. But this time I didn't respond. I had moved on, found peace in solitude, and recognized my own worth. That night at her sister's wedding was the worst moment of my life. Yet it was also when I found myself again, betrayed, heartbroken, but stronger than ever. And when she pleaded for one last chance, I was finally ready to say no.